You think you know the Roman Colosseum, but the truth is far more shocking than you ever imagined. For centuries, the idea of gladiators fighting to the death has captivated our imagination, fueling epic movies and bloodthirsty crowds. But did these legendary warriors really meet their maker in the arena every time? As we delve into the secrets of Roman gladiators, we'll uncover a surprising twist that will challenge everything you thought you knew about these ancient fighters. The myth of gladiators fighting to the death has been perpetuated by popular culture, but the reality is far more complex. In the early days of the Roman Empire, gladiators did indeed face mortal danger, but it wasn't as straightforward as Hollywood would have you believe. You see, the Roman Games were a spectacle, a way for the ruling elite to showcase their power and wealth. The gladiators were an integral part of this spectacle, but their fate was far from sealed. Archaeological discoveries have shed new light on the lives of gladiators, revealing a more nuanced picture than we've been led to believe. Excavations at Pompeii, for example, have uncovered the remains of a gladiatorial school, complete with training rooms, dormitories, and even a shrine dedicated to the gods of war. These findings suggest that gladiators were not just mindless killers, but highly trained athletes who lived and breathed their craft. One of the most significant discoveries to challenge the traditional narrative is the presence of missio, or the practice of sparing a gladiator. This might seem counterintuitive, given the gruesome reputation of the Roman Games, but it's a crucial aspect of understanding the complex dynamics at play. In the early days of the Games, missio was a regular occurrence, especially for gladiators who had proven themselves to be particularly skilled or popular with the crowd. So, why did the Romans spare the lives of these fighters? The answer lies in the complex web of Roman politics and economy. The gladiatorial games were a costly affair, requiring massive resources to stage and maintain. The Roman elite had a vested interest in keeping the games running smoothly, not just for the entertainment value, but also as a way to distract from the growing social and economic tensions within the empire. As the Roman Empire expanded, the economics of the games became increasingly complex. The cost of hosting gladiatorial events soared, and the Roman elite had to find ways to keep the crowds entertained without breaking the bank. This is where the concept of mercenaries comes in: skilled gladiators who are hired to fight, but not necessarily to the death. These mercenaries were often freed slaves, trained in the art of combat, and paid a handsome sum for their services. You might be wondering, what happened to the idea of gladiators fighting to the death? Well, it's a story of politics and power, where the Roman elite manipulated the narrative to suit their own interests. As the empire grew more decadent and corrupt, the games became increasingly brutal, with the emphasis shifting from skill and strategy to sheer bloodlust. The myth of gladiators fighting to the death became a convenient way for the Roman elite to justify their excesses, to rationalize the cruelty and spectacle that had become an integral part of their games. But here's the thing. This narrative didn't come out of nowhere. It was carefully crafted to serve the interests of the Roman elite, to keep the crowds entertained and the economy booming. And it's a narrative that has been perpetuated down the centuries, influencing the way we think about gladiators and the Roman Games. As we continue our journey into the world of Roman gladiators, we'll explore more of the secrets and surprises that lie beneath the surface. From the politics of the games to the lives of the gladiators themselves, we'll uncover a fascinating story that will challenge everything you thought you knew about these ancient warriors. But before we move on, let's take a moment to reflect on the significance of these findings. The idea that gladiators fought to the death every time is a myth that has been perpetuated by popular culture, but it's a myth that has been debunked by the evidence. The truth is far more complex, far more nuanced, and far more shocking than we ever imagined. And it's a reminder that the past is not always as it seems, that the stories we tell ourselves about history are often incomplete, often inaccurate, and often designed to serve a particular agenda. As we move forward, we'll continue to explore the secrets of Roman gladiators, delving deeper into the lives of these ancient warriors and the games that captivated the Roman imagination. But for now, let's take a moment to appreciate the complexity, the nuance, and the sheer fascination of this ancient world. The world of Roman gladiators is a world that will continue to captivate and inspire us, a world that will challenge our assumptions and push us to think differently about the past. You've been fascinated by the Roman Colosseum, the epicenter of gladiatorial combat. But what made these legendary warriors tick? How did they become the stars of the Roman arena? As you delve deeper into the world of gladiators, you'll discover that their rise to fame was anything but straightforward. Imagine yourself standing in the scorching heat of a Roman training ground. The air is thick with sweat and the smell of leather. You're surrounded by aspiring gladiators, all vying for a spot in the arena. But what drove these men to become gladiators in the first place? Was it a desire for fame, fortune, or something more? The answer lies in the harsh realities of ancient Roman society. Many gladiators were slaves, forced into combat as a punishment or as a means to repay debts. But others, a select few, were trained from a young age to become the best of the best. These gladiators attended specialized schools, where they honed their skills under the watchful eye of seasoned trainers. You might be wondering what these schools were like. Well, imagine a modern-day sports academy, but with a dark and brutal twist. The training was grueling, often involving brutal beatings, whippings, and even starvation. It was a world where the strong survived and the weak perished. Take the story of Flamma, a famous gladiator who rose to fame in the 1st century AD. Born into slavery, Flamma was trained from a young age to become a secutor, a heavily armored gladiator with a distinctive helmet and shield. He quickly became known for his bravery and skill, earning the adoration of the Roman crowds. But what drove Flamma to become a gladiator in the first place? Was it a desire for fame, fortune, or something more? The truth is that many gladiators were motivated by a sense of duty and loyalty to their lanisti, the trainers who had taken them under their wing. These lanisti often became like fathers to their gladiators, providing them with support, guidance, and a sense of belonging. As you explore the world of gladiatorial combat, you'll realize that the line between slave and superstar was blurred. Many gladiators were treated as celebrities, with their own fan clubs and merchandise. They were showered with wealth and adoration, but at a terrible cost. But what about the gladiators who didn't make it to the top? What about those who were injured, maimed, or killed in the arena? The Roman Empire had a notorious reputation for its brutal treatment of gladiators, who were often discarded like broken toys when they were no longer useful. You might be wondering how the Roman crowds reacted to the brutal treatment of gladiators. Did they feel any empathy or compassion for these human beings? The answer is complex, but one thing is certain. The Roman crowds were obsessed with gladiatorial combat. They cheered on their favorite gladiators, betting on their wins and losses, and even participating in the violence themselves. As you delve deeper into the world of gladiatorial combat, you'll realize that the Roman Empire was a place of contradictions. On one hand, it was a civilization that valued honor, duty, and loyalty. On the other hand, it was a society that reveled in violence, cruelty, and exploitation. The rise of the gladiators was a reflection of this complex society, where the strong survived and the weak perished. But what drove these gladiators to become the stars of the Roman arena? Was it fame, fortune, or was something more? The truth is that the answer lies in the dark, brutal, and fascinating world of ancient Roman society, where the line between slave and superstar was blurred. As you delve deeper into the world of Roman gladiators, you're probably wondering, what exactly was the purpose of these brutal games? Were they just entertainment for the Roman masses, or was there something more at play? Let's explore the different types of gladiators and their fighting styles to understand how they contributed to the game's intrigue. Imagine stepping into the Roman Colosseum, surrounded by roaring crowds and the scent of blood and sweat. The air is electric, and you can feel the weight of history hanging over you. You see a group of heavily armed gladiators, each with their unique fighting style. There's the Murmillo, with their distinctive fish-shaped helmet and short sword, the Thraex, with their long sword and agility, and the Secutor, with their heavy armor and powerful shield. These different fighting styles were not just a matter of personal preference, but rather a reflection of the gladiator's social status. The most elite gladiators, known as the Secutors, were often freed slaves who had been trained specifically for the games. They wore the most advanced armor and fought with the most skilled opponents. But what you might not know is that these elite gladiators were not just fighting for their own lives. They were also fighting for the prestige of their patrons. You see, in ancient Rome, gladiatorial games were not just entertainment. They were also a way for the elite to showcase their power and influence. Patrons would sponsor gladiators, outfit them in the finest armor, and even provide them with their own personal trainers. These gladiators would then fight in the arena, not just for their own lives, but also for the honor of their patrons. It's a fascinating insight into the social dynamics of ancient Rome, where even the games themselves were a reflection of the class system. But what about the modern-day connections between gladiatorial games and sports? You might be surprised to learn that many of the sports we enjoy today, such as boxing and wrestling, have their roots in the ancient Roman games. In fact, the word gladiator is derived from the Latin word gladius, meaning sword. And it's not just the physical aspect of these sports that's similar, it's also the psychological aspect. Imagine being a gladiator facing off against your opponent in the arena. The crowd is cheering, the sun is beating down on you, and you're just one mistake away from death. It's a pressure cooker of emotion, and one that modern-day athletes can definitely relate to. But what's even more interesting is the way that gladiatorial games influenced our understanding of human competition. The idea that individuals can be pitted against each other in a controlled environment, with the winner receiving a prize, is a concept that's still with us today. As you continue to explore the secrets of Roman gladiators, you'll discover that there's more to these games than just blood and sweat. There's a rich history, a complex social hierarchy, and even modern-day connections that will surprise and intrigue you. And that's exactly what I want to explore next. The surprising ways in which gladiatorial games shaped our understanding of human competition. Stay tuned, because it's a journey that will take you deeper into the heart of the Roman Colosseum. You're now standing at the edge of the Roman arena, the roar of the crowd echoing in your ears. But as you gaze out at the sea of faces, you can't help but wonder about the gladiators themselves. What were their lives like behind the scenes? Were they heroes or mere commodities, pawns in a game of death and entertainment? Let's take a closer look at the harsh realities of a gladiator's life. They were often slaves, taken from distant lands and forced to fight for their lives. Imagine being ripped from your family, your culture, and your home, only to be thrust into a brutal world where the only way to survive was to kill. The conditions were brutal, cramped, unsanitary, and often fatal. Many gladiators died from injuries, infections, or sheer exhaustion before they even stepped foot in the arena. But that's not the only dark secret of the gladiatorial world. As you delve deeper, you'll discover that gladiators weren't just passive victims. They were also fiercely resistant, fighting back against their oppressors in ways both subtle and overt. From clever escapes to outright rebellions, gladiators showed a remarkable capacity for self-preservation and defiance. One of the most fascinating stories of gladiatorial resistance is that of Quintus Petrus, a Thracian gladiator who staged a daring escape from the arena in 107 AD. With the help of a loyal fellow gladiator, Petrus managed to outwit their captors and make a break for freedom. His bravery and cunning were a testament to the human spirit, even in the face of overwhelming odds. But how did gladiators resist their oppressors and fight for their freedom? The answer will leave you speechless. It's a story of clever tactics, covert communication, and even a dash of humor. You'll discover how gladiators used their skills and cunning to outwit their captors, often in the most creative and unexpected ways. As you follow the trail of gladiatorial resistance, you'll uncover a more complex and nuanced world than you ever imagined. From the brutal realities of gladiatorial combat to the daring acts of defiance, you'll see that gladiators were more than just fighters. They were survivors, rebels, and even heroes. But there's more to the story. You'll also learn about the surprising ways in which gladiators were able to subvert the system and gain a degree of control over their lives. From negotiating with their captors to manipulating the audience, gladiators showed a remarkable ability to adapt and thrive in a world designed to crush them. As you continue to explore the secrets of the Roman arena, you'll be left with a newfound appreciation for the gladiators themselves. They were more than just foot soldiers in a game of death. They were complex, multifaceted individuals with their own stories, struggles, and triumphs. And it's their stories that will ultimately leave you speechless. You're now standing at the edge of the Roman arena, the roar of the crowd echoing in your ears. The myth of gladiators fighting to the death every time has been perpetuated by popular culture. But what's the truth behind this legend? Recent archaeological discoveries are shedding new light on the world of gladiatorial games, and the picture is far more complex than you ever imagined. Archaeologists have been excavating the ancient Roman town of Narcissa, and their findings have revealed a fascinating story about the lives of gladiators. It appears that many gladiators did indeed fight to the death, but not as often as you might. In fact, many were injured or captured, and some even managed to escape or retire from the games. This new evidence challenges the conventional wisdom about the brutal nature of gladiatorial combat. But the secrets of the Roman arena don't stop there. As it turns out, gladiatorial games were closely tied to ancient mythology. The Roman gods were often invoked during the games, and gladiators were seen as representatives of the divine. This connection between the mortal world and the realm of the gods adds a new layer of depth to our understanding of the games. It's a reminder that, in the Roman mind, the distinction between reality and myth was often blurred. So what does this mean for our understanding of ancient Roman society? The gladiatorial games were a key aspect of Roman culture, and the discoveries we've made so far suggest that they played a far more complex role in Roman life than we ever thought. They were not just a form of entertainment, but also a way of connecting with the divine and reaffirming social hierarchies. This new perspective on the Roman arena has significant implications for our understanding of the ancient world. The secrets of the Roman arena are far more complex and fascinating than you ever imagined. Join us in uncovering the truth behind the gladiators and the Roman games that shaped our world. Leave a comment below and share your thoughts on the secrets of the Roman arena. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more engaging documentaries.